So hi all, welcome to a new TikTok video. This will be an unboxing video. It's basically this package which came from Thomann. It's the third time I received the package. It had to be R-made, so I hope this one is correct. I also did some faulty video captures while unboxing the first two, so I hope this one will work out. So let's just open the package. I paid for it myself. I'm not sponsored in any way. I have to watch my headphone cable here, and you don't know what's inside, but I do, and you'll find out in a moment. Thank God they used paper tape instead of plastic tape. So there we go. Basically the packaging right there. They even used a different kind of filling material this time. I'll toss that aside. I have to make some room here. So this is the unit. They packaged it really poorly. So yeah, the box is already damaged, but it's at the bottom. So it's a Behringer Neutron synthesizer, which I've already sent back 2 times. This is the 3rd time I'm receiving it. It's been like a month already. So let's unpack it here. Let's see if they followed my notes. This is the power supply. This is the manual. Yeah, I have to turn it around here. And my mics might sound double because I have the loop back turned on. I can turn that off for a moment here. Well, we're not using Cubase. So let's get this unit out. They include some patch cables as well. So that's a basic unit there. The manual we don't need for now. Let's close that up. It's a Behringer Neutron, as you can see here. And this is the back side. So let's see if they did any testing at all. Well, oh, this should be inside of the casing there. Yeah, I need scissors for this. So there we go with the unit. Oh, shoot. Some silica gel, always welcome, always handy. I'll make a nice box later on. So this is the Behringer Neutron. Let's test out all the knobs first. I included a specific message. Yeah, and it's already. They didn't even read my message. They just sent me a new one. Like some knobs are more resistive than others. And I won't bore you with the connecting it. Feels a little bit smoother there. Yeah, and this knob in particular. The first unit I got was the best. Yeah, that's connected. I'll pause the video. I've set my phone camera up there so you can see what I'm doing. And now we'll open Cubase, put some MIDI in the PCB rack. Update it first in the firmware, so you'll see how that goes. They even included a rack mount power supply for when you want to rack mount it, because that screws here and here. You can take it out and use it as a Eurorack module. But I'll set it aside there. I'll plug it in, and yeah, show you the process of updating, and basically just open up Cubase after that. Hope everything goes well. The mix knob, yeah, I don't use that often, but they should have been equal. This goes really hard, but at least all the envelopes, yeah, sort of acting the same. I'll show you different ways to set it up. I'll pause the recording real quick and I'll switch to the Droid cam once it's set up. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's going to be a long form content kind of video, so yeah, stay tuned. Just hold on. I'll be back in a second. So there we're back again. I just grabbed a little screwdriver because I know we need that. These are the patch cables. I already laid aside the power supply for the Eurorack module because I don't have a Eurorack. I got two lights. Perhaps turn these off on, like one so. like that. So you can see a bit better what I'm doing here. The only problem I have is, yeah, let's power on the unit first. That's what it does. It cycles through everything. And it has a USB connection, so I'll be using the Behringer Neutron app here. It can't find it, probably. No. Let's see here. It can't find it because it's outdated firmware. Let's update the firmware first. Let's close this program here. So this is the program setup, Neutron. And for the firmware update you need SADIC, which is a special program, because when I run the firmware updater it won't recognize the unit at first. Let's run it as administrator here. It can't find it because it's looking for specific drivers. So let's first open SADIC. Oh, I didn't enter boot mode as well. So let's start with that. So let's enable boot mode by pressing the boot button and then switching on the unit at the same time. So basically it goes like this. And now it's in boot mode. I can run the firmware update again and you won't see, yeah, Neutron detected. Click update to start and then you'll probably get an error message, or it's already being enabled because it already did it. You can run SADIC if you need to. Basically just install the SMT drivers, I believe, and then run the firmware updater. Now you'll probably see the Neutron being connected. Neutron not connected. Oh, it's still in boot mode. That's why. Probably. So let's await that. Yeah, and now it shows up. So let's adjust the oscillator tuning here. It's even worse in the second. Oh my god. The first version I got was the best. And I resent that because it made clicks when I turned the VCA bias all the way up. We're now 40 minutes in, so I'll close this. You can lock the tuners, by the way, but it has to warm up for that, like 20 minutes. Let's enable a few things here, like auto glide to -12, paraphonic mode to high-low, and that's about it. I want to adjust. Let's turn off paraphonic mode again, and then we'll open Cubase. I'll turn on the loopback, so it might sound a bit weird. The cool thing about it, where do I have the cable, is that you can actually bypass the distortion and the delay, built-in delay. And for delay it's a bit harder. You have to really patch something into the patch bay, like a long cable, which is completely entangled here. Like I have a 3-meter cable which is mono, but I'll first show you the unit without, and then we'll go into more detail. So and in the end I'll make a nice display, which I already did, but I had to resend it and resend it. So let's open DroidCam. I don't have a screen plus DroidCam mapped, I think. Oh, I do actually, but it's inverted somehow. So let's open Cubase here for a moment. Cubase 14. I'm going to upgrade this weekend to 15, the latest version. And let's get some sound out of the Neutron. Let's go for both screens. Yeah, I don't have a both screens plus droid, I believe. Except for everything. No, both screens plus droid. That's perfect. Now you can see me and the droid cam. This is the patch I've already set up. Let's reload that. Let's do that manually. I thought I had it configured, but so this is basically the grid sequencer, outputting CV to MIDI. I've configured all my channels. Like there's one audio channel which receives the Neutron, then there's one MIDI channel which receives the output from VCV rack and inputs it into the Neutron, and then there's of course VCV rack, which is not connected at all. So let's just do a test here, and let's just check if the loopback is on. No, the loopback is off. Loopback is now on, so you should hear any sounds whenever I start playing. I'm using the MIDI. I can say that the USB is kind of noisy. If you don't have the right USB port, I plugged it into my audio interface and got 0 interference. But for example, whenever you plug it into a hub or any kind of computer port, it will just hum. So you have to get an anti-static cable or something like that. But yeah, let's just play around. receiving MIDI, and because everything is turned down, won't hear anything. Why am I not getting any signal here? Did I configure that correctly? Yeah. Oh, I didn't plug in the cable. So this is Neutron, and you have to play with the envelope a bit. And I configured a random mute. But it's really silent. And you can add envelope 2, but that's a LFO. That's the envelope. And as you can hear, it's quite noisy because of the delay. And I can of course increase the volume here a bit. Oh, it's on. It's on band pass, and it should be on low pass or high pass. I don't know how you call it. Now it will sound fuller. Yeah, there we go. So let's turn the volume down again, and let the volume come from the unit itself. Somehow the range of also, oh yeah, I turned it all the way. Now it should actually mix. You can enable key track as well, so it will follow the notes, the LFO. or at least frequency modulation. So whenever I turn off the frequency modulation, only the high note get through. So this is with a bit of drive. Let's mix in some delay here. You can add some noise. You can let it drone. So when it goes mute, it will actually drone. Let's turn the mute. We can also use chances to increase the randomness. Now we'll have even more randomness. And this is just a sine wave. And yeah, so now the VCA bias and the delay is turned on, and it's noisy as hell. It's mono, so it's really no use if you're using a DAW which has stereo delay and ping pong delay and whatever. I'll first show you how to bypass the distortion or the overdrive, and that's basically going from VCF to VCA-N, I believe, and that bypasses the overdrive circuit. I think it was no. it that one? No, the overdrive is all the way closed now. No, I'm hearing nothing at all. PCF too. Let me just check an old video of mine where I think I did that. I'll just pause the recording for a moment. So there we're back. I think I got it. Use the second hole to the fourth hole. And then we'll bypass the overdrive, I think. Yeah, now it's bypass. You can see I'm making changes here. Yeah. So I'm making changes to the overdrive, but it ain't doing anything. So that's the easy part. But I do like the overdrive though. Now comes the complex part, and that is to bypass the delay, which you don't really need. And that can only be done by connecting a patch cable to the VCA output and connecting the patch cable to your interface, and then you'll still have the overdrive but bypass the delay. And I'll give a demonstration of that. And it's much louder, so you'll probably have to turn on pad for this. So now the overdrive circuit is still working. I don't think I need a pad. Oh, it's really loud though. But you'll see whenever I twist the delay knobs, nothing happens. I did like the VCA bias though. And perhaps we can make the chances a bit less, like 33%. Make the mutes 33%. And you'll see I got a preheater here with some bass, treble, and this is my mixer. It has a ping pong delay and a Valhalla delay and a bit of reverb. Oh, also VCV is processing a few things, I think. No, it turned off. So let's introduce some reverb from GTV rack as well. And now let's add some delay. And you can really hear the unit shine. I don't know. We're in at 35 minutes. So let's create something cool here. In which case the LFO will affect the wave shape of the oscillators, both of them. I'll use white patch cables. Yeah, that's the droning you're hearing because of the VCA bias. So let's connect the LFO rate to the multi. No. LFO to multi. I did this wrong. I'm now going to use two gray cables. And connect multi 1 and multi 2 to shape 1 and shape 2 of the oscillators. And you can see it already starting to move here. And it's basically when you turn the oscillators opposite sides of the same side of each other, it will do the flip, and when you do it like that you get the same result. So let's do a flip. It's triggered by the LFO, so if I turn this faster or slower, it will move accordingly. And then we can, for example, the attenuated 2 is mapped to the width function of the oscillators. So that's by default, you can override it. So let's use that to trigger a different kind of width when becomes square or double square. And it's now in key sync. You can move it in squares or triangle. Let's set a slower tempo here. Like 85 for example. and I've now set the oscillator sync on. So basically oscillator 1 oscillator 2 will be synced to oscillator 1, no matter what you do in terms of tuning. So we can turn the tuning knob and it'll stay in sync. Maybe a bit too much delay. So we're at 45 minutes now. As you can see, this is my default setup, just using the VCA instead of the actual output from the delay, with the quarter jack at the back. It uses that when using the delay and just a full unit. I chose to bypass the delay because I don't need it. It introduces a lot of noise when engaged, and not even when when engaged itself. Also, I do like the overdrive section though, so that's why I bypass the delay and use only the overdrive, but for that you need a long ass patch cable depending on your interface. I just had this laying around for some reason. It's a mono jack, very convenient. It's about 3 meters. So yeah, I use an adapter for that, 6.35 millimeters to 3.5 millimeters, just to get it into my sound card. So yeah, let's make a nice display in the closet behind me. I'll show you the result. Let's pause the recording again, and I'll make a nice display. Put everything in the box, which is supposed to be in the box. Also, by the way, got like 10 MOOC patch cables, so I have patch cables enough. That's my MOOC here. I don't know where that. I think it's this one. No, it's that one. That's my MOOC. Yeah, nothing beats MOOC. Of course, it's a Behringer. Yeah, and the prices after that as well. So I'll make a nice display inside of the closet there. Already made some place, and I'll show you the finished result. Just a second. I'll pause the recording again, and yeah, put everything in the case and in the closet and show you the result. So I'm back again. Just at the display, I did a unboxing of the Momentum 4 wireless a while ago, but I think that needs to be edited because the video is over 40 minutes long and it doesn't compare to a synthesizer. But this is going back. Sorry for the loud bangs. This is going back into the closet as a nice display. So I'm back again. As you can see, this display is nicely filled with the Behringer Neutron, the Sennheiser Momentum 4, and of course my Dungeons and Dragons figurine collection, a mobile phone stabilizer. And I want to round this video off with that you can make this cool patch with shifting like oscillators. You can't see that correctly though. It has shifting oscillators, and you can do that with only 3 patch cables. I recommend you get a longer one as well to bypass the delay circuit, unless you want to use it, of course. But I find that it always adds some delay to your sound, no matter if it's turned down or not. It just adds some, and it also adds noise. And you are better off just bypassing it with a slightly longer patch cable. I don't know how far you are from your interface, maybe 1.5 meters, or maybe you need a 5 meter cable, I don't know, but yeah, so I want to round this off. I've got 10 minutes left. Let's see how big the file is. I don't know how I'm even encoding this. Ooh, it's almost 2 gigabytes, the maximum for TikTok. So let's play around with the VCV rack once more. So that's about it. 3 patch cables needed for that specific patch, where the oscillators move. And you can configure that the way you want. I'm going to stop recording now. It's already 35. No, 53 minutes long. Sorry, my English isn't that good after my cerebral infarct. But I try to make videos anyway. So yeah, let's run it to 55 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah. So that's the Behringer Neutron. Highly recommended. Let's zoom in a bit more here. Yeah. So that's a neutron. And I'm going to enter recording now. I think I did my unboxing fairly well. I just have to figure this out, make a nice setup for it, but it is already nice for my liking. I can just use it whenever I want, just like the mug. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the unboxing. I'll post it on TikTok and probably YouTube. Oh, the loopback is still turned on. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, get some sleep. It's 4 past 12 here, AM, so it's night time at the disco. So I'm going to wrap this up now. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. And this is of course The Butterfly Effect, one of my favorite movies. And yeah, I always tell you lately a bit about my shirt in the end. So yeah, this is The Butterfly Effect. Go watch it. It's a really good movie. So yeah, thanks for watching and take care, everyone. Yeah, good day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.